Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you?
Okay. How are you guys today?
Can you please on your camera?
Oh, sure. Yes. Can you guys see me? Hey
Yeah.
there.
Hello, Tracey.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here today. We are waiting for your fabulous speech. Before we go into the presentation, we would like to introduce you to your audiences.
Tracey and Boss is a healthcare leader with 30 years of experience in healthcare, IT, and holistic wellness. As an EPIC certified health IT leader and CEO, founder of IHST, Prohetic Dance and Fitness, the Tribal Stage, and the Healing Fire Foundation, she drives innovation in the industry. Recognized as an IFAH Top 100 Healthcare Leader and Health 2.0 Visionary, uh, Tracy is dedicated to women and youth development, promoting healthy families through mentorship and community outreach. She is also a spiritual life and integrative nutrition health coach, dance instructor, and dual degree candidate in mental health and dance movement therapy, committed to inspiring holistic lifestyles and fostering a culture of wellness.
Okay, that was an inspiring bio.
Yeah.
You have done a fantastic job, and the stage is yours.
Okay. Well, I would just like to say thank you. It is an honor to be here and to be able to talk to you guys a little bit today. My personal journey has been a difficult one, but one that I think that it kind of all comes together, right? So first and foremost, I gotta give all honor to God, who He is my source and my truth for everything that I've done and everything I am doing, and I want to give honor to Him first and foremost. I want to kind of talk to you guys today about resilience, like building resilience, right? But also cultivating love in that space. Like I said, my journey has it's been a challenging one. It includes challenges, but it also includes triumphs, right? And in order to do that, in order to have, persevere, there are some key steps that you kind of have to take. So let's just talk about resilience a little bit, right? Resilience isn't about being unshakable or unaffected by life's difficulties. It's about being able to adapt and recover even when life throws you unexpected challenges. It's about bouncing back, right? And bouncing forward. There's a certain thing about bouncing forward because every challenge we face transforms us in some type of way, right? And God, it's interesting that certain things happen in our life. For those of you guys who are believers in the Christian faith, that there's always a purpose for everything, right? And so God creates this masterpiece, even through some of the challenges that we face, right? So resilience has many layers, right? It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual, right? It can be social, right? And in today's society, you can burn out really quickly, right? It's becoming increasingly common. Resilience becomes an essential skill in life today because of so many things that's going on in the world. People are discouraged. It's really important to continue to build that resilience, right? So it first starts with self-awareness, right? Are we aware of ourselves, right? There's some things we can change, and then there's some things that we can't change, right? Um, so we can definitely change what's going on with us and be more self-aware of what it is that we might need, right? So it kind of starts with knowing your strengths, right? Knowing your weaknesses, knowing your triggers, knowing what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So self-mastery is almost the very first step, right? And understanding yourself. Um, and accepting those things with compassion, right? Because we're all human. We're not perfect by any means, but it's just understanding who we are and how we operate, right? Being mindful, like what practices do you do any mindful practice? Do you have a spiritual practice, right? Meditate. Some people do meditation, some people do breathwork, some people do movement therapy. I know, I am the CEO and founder of Prophetic Dance and Fitness, and the Tribal Sage and the Healing Fire Foundation. So I like to do a lot of work through dance movement. We don't realize how much we hold in our tissues and in our body, and there has to be some way to release that, right? So you also need social support. Social support is extremely important, right? I don't think people understand this enough, that think you can get through things if you're able to foster and house community. So one of the things that I want to do at the Tribal Sage is to do just that. We need a a community for women, right? My love is for women because I've had my own personal journey in life. I really don't want some of the younger women to have to go through some of the things that I've personally encountered. So the Tribal Sage .com, we're just kind of kicking off. My baby and my love has been prophetic dance and fitness, so I'm definitely in dance and movement. But the Tribal Sage is a kickoff. It will be a community for women to get together, right? Let's talk about what we're encountering. We are the pillars of society, right? We're very influential. Most of the times, if we're healthy, our family is healthy. If we're unhealthy, most likely our family is unhealthy because we are there. We're pillars in the community and helping to hold them up. So it's extremely important that we have social support. So just find those people that that will walk with you through the fire, right? Through anything. So if you have community, that love is going to be extremely and support is going to be very important, right? So resilience is not a solo journey. Building a community, as we do through partnerships, right, are often very essential and practical for support. So part two of this, it's one thing to build. So when I say resilience, guys, some of the things that has worked for me has been fostered around love, right? And so cultivating love is kind of the second part we're going to talk about, but it all interconnects together, right? So you have, and just to go back to the conference, right? You have this spiritual aspect of things, and then you have the mental health aspect. When I say mental health, just being, mindful of things. There are some things that are clinically, right, diagnosed, so to speak, but there is some things that we can do, and we can manage and moderate our. Sorry about that, guys. 1 second. That's my alarm. We can moderate our emotion, like our emotions in our mindset, right? So it's one thing if you have a spiritual practice, but if you don't have the mindset, the positive mindset, the right atmosphere, the right environment for healing, for deliverance, for growth, then it makes things very, very difficult. So for me, um, a lot of the cultivating of love that I do is around my love for God, my love for my family, my passion and my love for dance and fitness. So you spend a lot of time in those spaces doing the things that you love, but also staying in that positive mindset. So it's almost like there's this overworking machine that even though the challenges kind of come through and life happens, or life as we sort of speak, there's still an opportunity. Um, there's still an opportunity for us to persevere through that, right? So cultivating love, particularly self-love, is an antidote to the harsh realities of today's world. In our fast-paced society, we often mistake love for something external, right? A validation from others. But the truth is, love is a deep internal practice that starts within ourselves, right? If we don't love ourselves, we can't love others, right? But we do know that for, my Christians on here, we do know that God loves us, right? So we have our identity in Christ, but Self-love comes from within. But with that self-love, in order to cultivate it, we need to nurture ourselves and be compassionate with ourselves, right? The way we speak to ourselves, right? We could be so, when we're women, I think people in general can be very hard on ourselves, right? The way we speak to ourselves really matters, right? Cultivating self compassion is about showing yourself kindness, giving yourself grace, right? Oh, I'm better than I was yesterday. The competition is not with anyone else, it's actually with, I'm a better person today than I was yesterday. I'm eating better today. I know these things don't serve me, whether it's people, places, things, food, and I'm crowding out those things that no longer serve me, but pulling in those things that do. So that is like creating that space for growth, creating that space for healing, self-love, and building that resilience, right? So in making sure that we're connecting with others, right? Genuine love is about connection. So we want to have positive connections with our family, our husbands, our kids. It's very important to connect with others on a genuine level, right? And being able to have a safe space. One of the things that I want to do with the Tribal Sage is create a safe space for women to talk about things that we don't always get opportunity to talk with someone else about. That is a woman, right? So, or getting some of those tips and words of wisdom if you're a younger woman from an older woman, because maybe you don't have that resource within your family, right? So I think connecting with others and relating on similar things and similar walks is very important, right? Um, when we love and accept ourselves, we are more capable of sharing that love with others, right? It creates a ripple effect of kindness and empathy. Spiritual love, this transcends individual love, right? So it's a love that connects us to the something larger. It's bigger than ourselves, right? For me, it's God, right? Some people have a different spiritual practice. The collective consciousness of humanity, it is very important, right? So this kind of love sustains us during our darkest moments, and strengthens our resilience, and that has been a big part for me in my personal walk. So the intersections of resilience and love, which we kind of spoke about not too long ago, right? What's fascinating is that the resilience and the love are interconnected. We kind of talked about that, right? When we love ourselves, we become more resilient. We give ourselves the space to fall, learn, grow. And if we do that with others, then it's no longer, oh my goodness, I feel this certain way because I didn't do this. Or it's not about what we do, it's about who we are, and just being. I think sometimes we are in the hustle and bustle in today's society, and there's no thoughts around just being. Sometimes I mean, we don't say do nothing, or but just taking some time to meditate on what's good, and meditate on things that are positive, right? um so in today's society, resilience without love can make us tough, right? So things are rough these days, and things can turn you bitter. So some things about my personal journey is my daughter is a brain cancer survivor. She is absolutely uh, uh, my superhero. She's 17, and she was diagnosed with a rare brain tumor in 2022. You know, I definitely went through my days, and we all go through our days. But it's what we say to ourselves. It's the spiritual practice, my spiritual practice with God, right? It's knowing that you have a hope and you have a future, and he loves us, and just knowing that all things work together for the good for those that love the Lord. That's my practice, right? So moving forward, she is beautifully healed today. I'm grateful for all that God has done for her in her life. And then to lose my son not even 2 years ago to gun violence, right? So I am not I'm definitely a victim of what life challenges and journeys can bring, and I miss my son immensely. And I know that there are some unfairness, there's unfair things, um, things happen, and I'm still healing through that. But I do know that there is the greater good, right? So there's hope, there is joy, there are things that we have uh, that is offered to us. And I still have two amazing babies, my two younger kids, that I am here to serve as their mother. And there's others in the community that I'm here to help and to serve. And I feel like it's my true divine purpose to be able to help women to go through some of the things that I've went through, divorce. There's, a lot of things that I've gone through personally, losing my mother to ovarian cancer. Some of that is based on just normal health practices. That's another big thing for me, is health advocacy, is making sure we take care of ourselves. And that's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, physically. All of those things are health, or your overall health. You just can't go to the gym and say, hey, I'm going to go work on, building this muscle here, but then there's no building the muscle of the mind, or building your spiritual practice, or, creating an environment for you and your family at your home, right? All of that is very important to allow positive things and to allow a space of growth and healing, right? Depending on what you're going through, especially when you're talking about resilience, right? So you could have, let's just say a dirty home, and then your mind is clouded, right? So it might just be that, cleaning up that space, right? And just sitting within that space will open up new ideas and new opportunities, right? Um, so together, resilience and love create a balance that allows us to thrive in adversity while remaining open hearted. That's the key, right? This is especially important for women who are often conditioned to prioritize the well being of others over their own selves, right? So we do this a lot, and it's in our nature to nurture, right? So I think it's necessary for holistic growth that we teach that empowering oneself isn't selfish, right? It's not selfish. You have to be able to pour into yourself in order to pour into others, right? So at the Tribal Sage, that is the goal, is to create a space for women. I call myself a holistic lifestyle coach, because it's basically focused on the whole person. You can't, work on one part of your life and then not necessarily neglect the other. I think it's very important that we look at things from a holistic point of view. Okay. A resilient woman who practices self love is a force of nature, not just for herself, but for her family and for her community. Right. So here's some practical, oh, there we go again. Here's some practical tools for building resilience and love in you guys' life, right? So I know you guys have kind of heard about daily affirmation. So start your day with a positive affirmation. Remind yourself that you are strong, capable, worthy of love. Journaling is a really good thing. To reflect on your challenges. Sometimes it might be difficult to reflect on them, but you push through by doing that, right? Your challenges, your triumphs, so your successes are just as important, and your emotional landscape. Journaling can help you process your feelings and give you clarity, right? So movement is healing. So that is definitely my space that, I worship through dance. So I've always been a lover of dance since a little kid. So for me, a movement is everything, right? So it's very important to do some type of movement. If dance is not your thing, there's yoga, there's stretching, there's other things that you could take an attempt to do to kind of cultivate that movement, right, for healing. The movement allows us to release tension and connect with our bodies, right? So for me, dance movement therapy, which I'm very passionate about, can be particularly powerful for emotional release, right? So you don't want to keep things bottled up. because then that, you can in turn react to a family member or situation, the way you may not necessarily want to, right? So mindfulness in moments of stress, take a break, take a pause. It's okay to take a breather. It's okay. Just a few minutes of breathing can bring you back to your center and just, bring you back to a place of peace. Engage in community. Continue to reach out to like-minded individuals who support your growth, right? Building a resilient and loving community is essential, especially in a world that can often feel disconnected. And I know that there's a lot going on in the world today. So finding your tribe is what I say. The tribal sage kind of came for me with finding your tribe. And sage, we can be, women can be the wise influencers or counsel, so to speak, within our family. So I think every woman should be able to lead her or influence her tribe, right? So let's see. And as I kind of wrap up today, I just want to kind of invite each of you to take a moment and reflect on the resilience you've already shown in your life, right? You're here today because you've already chosen growth and love. If you're, or you're a speaker, that you're interested in spirituality, mental mindfulness. So if you could just kind of take a moment to reflect on the resilience you've already shown in your life, um, and in the face of difficulty, remember, resilience is not about avoiding challenges, and love is not about perfection. It's about embracing the full spectrum of life, its up and downs, and continue to show up with an open heart and an open mind, right? Together, we can build a world where resilience and love flourish, starting with ourselves, right? And extending to the communities we serve. Um, thank you guys for having me. This has been amazing. And does anybody, let's see what's in the chat here. Hi, Alyssa. The best for today's session. Oh, thank you. How can we cultivate a positive mindset when faced with spiritual doubts or crisis? So I would say, depending on your spiritual crisis, I mean, just depending on your spiritual practice, for me, God is in control, right? He is the author and finisher of our faith, and we have to hold steady to what's true. To be honest with you, after this life, there is another life. And we just have to remember to keep hope and be positive and continue to do the right things. Um, that's what I would have to say in regards to that. You're at sea. Any questions, guys? So if we have a few more minutes, I can talk to you guys a little bit more about my story. So I grew up to a single mom in the Washington, D.C. area. And I lost my father at 13 with sickle cell. And so, that was definitely a void for me. And so starting out as a young mom at the age of 20, my oldest son, who made me a mom, he passed away 2 years ago. And definitely life led me into starting prophetic dance and fitness, which was like in 2012. And then, things just kind of evolved from there. And then my mom lost my mom in 2011 and to ovarian cancer, something that could have been preventable. But, one of the reasons why it's really important for me in regards to women's health to kind of, make sure women are taking care of ourselves. We are very important and valuable in this in for our families, right, in our communities. And yeah, so moving on, my daughter was diagnosed. She's a St. Jude's alumni, and grateful for the St. Jude's family there. But they found out that she had a rare tumor, an ATRT. It's only like maybe 15 in the teens of diagnosis per year for children. And she was able to, they were able to resect her tumor. She went through chemo and radiation, and she's doing great. No issues there at all. So, what else, guys? I know you guys were eager to hear my story. Aside from that, and then my son. So definitely, been through a lot of things. Have a lot to offer to women who are interested in any coaching sessions. Like I said, I'm the CEO and founder of the Tribal Sage, Prophetic Dance and Fitness and Healing Fire Foundation, which our foundation will be giving back to women, the healing arts in children on the autism spectrum. My oldest son was actually on the autism spectrum. So being in a unique group of moms who have children who battled childhood illnesses, along with the autism moms group, and then now the bereaved moms group, unfortunately. So I definitely am looking to support women in all phases of their life and their journeys with their families. So thank you guys. I don't want to keep talking. Thank you for having me today.
That was a great talk, Tracey. Thank you for your session. And we have a few questions from our audiences. We would like to add one question.
Sure.
How can integrating spirituality into our lives enhance our ability to maintain a positive mindset?
How to maintain a positive mindset? Sorry.
Yeah. How can
How can integrating spirituality into our daily lives will enhance our ability to maintain a positive mindset?
So, it's all about depending on your spiritual practice. So for me, it's it's being in relationship with God, right? So having a close, interactive relationship with God and knowing that there's a hope in the future. He has a plan for us. And for me, it's just staying in prayer, right? So being prayerful. I personally listen to my music all day. So I listen to positive music. You got to watch what you allow into your ear gates and eye gates is what I call it. Making sure that there are things that are positive and that they're promoting your wealth, your health, and well-being, right? So, I may not listen to a certain song that might denote my mind to go in a different direction. So I might decide to listen to a specific channel, I don't know. People still listen to radio now, but I might decide to play a certain YouTube video. So there is one song, like I listen to a lot of positive songs. So there's one song I could listen to anything from country to it doesn't matter. So for me, it's all about how you start your morning. Do you have a routine? So there should be a normal routine. So I'm praying, I am, up and moving. I'm listening to, there's one particular song that says, get on up, um, you know, step into your power, right? Step into your power, child. So there's just so many things that you can do. I would just say find what works for you. So that goes back to that whole, oh, let me do this because this makes me feel good. Start to kind of be self-aware of what makes me feel good, but also, am I praying? Am I doing what I need to do to get in close relationship with God so that nothing negative can kind of break my, train of thought and or my path and my purpose that God has for my life. So you just got to be mindful to just keep those things away from you. um it definitely is a daily task, right? It definitely takes, you got to be intentional, but making sure that you're in those environments that are positive. You're listening to things that are positive. Your space is positive, where you work, where you live, right? So for me, it's okay, I just want fresh flowers, or I just want to, get another picture. So maybe just putting something different in the room that I normally didn't put there, that says, oh, remember how much you're loved, or you are loved. Like right now, on in my kitchen, I have, today I choose love, joy, happiness, gentleness, bliss, peace, and faithfulness. So, speaking to yourself, speaking over yourself, you have to continue to have a routine and a practice that supports where you're going and kind of where you are.
Thank you for the answer. I hope everyone got the answer. We will move with our next keynote speaker, Seema Gill. Please do join the session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The speaker is not currently not available right now, so we'll just have a small break.